Now that we've unlocked the final mastery camo in Modern Warfare 2, the Orion camo, I'm going to give you 10 different tips to help you get the gold, platinum, polyatomic, and even the Orion camo faster. And in the very near future, I'm going to be breaking down every weapon class, including the Riot Shield, the rocket launchers, and the snipers. That way you can get all the camos in Modern Warfare 2 as quick as possible. So if you want to see that, make sure to sub to the channel. And if you like or comment, I greatly appreciate it. For tip number 1, you want to start working on the rocket launchers right away. This is something you want to do when it comes to camo grinding in any Call of Duty. It's actually not as important in this COD since most of the challenges are based around kills. However, once you get all the rocket launchers gold and then you start working on the platinum challenges for the rocket launchers, you are going to have to destroy enemy kill streaks or enemy equipment on the ground. And field upgrades do not count, and most of the stuff you're going to find on the ground is field upgrades. This is going to be really easy for the Javelin and the P-Law. However, for the RPG and the Strela, since they don't lock on, you're going to have a really hard time hitting anything in the air with them. So your best bet is to take out enemy equipment, and there's only 3 pieces of enemy equipment that go on the ground: C4, Claymore, and Proximity Mine. Anything else you see on the ground is going to be a field upgrade, and it's not going to count. And you don't see a lot of these, so it's going to take a while. You definitely don't want to get to the end of your camo grind and realize, all right, now I've got to start working on the RPG and just go from match to match looking for these. So you definitely want to get a head start leveling up the rocket launcher. That way you can get this equipment challenge over with and move on to the next stuff. Tip number 2 is a basic one, but there are still people out there who need to hear this. Your stats while grinding for camo don't matter. Your KD at the end of the game or any of this isn't going to make a big deal. You can't even see your KD in game right now. They might add it in the future, but at the end of the day, with skill-based matchmaking in the game, KD means nothing. You've got people in all different sorts of lobbies, and it's just not something that makes a big deal. And trust me, if you're worrying about your KD, you're going to have a really bad time when you're trying to grind the rocket launchers, the Riot Shield. It's going to be a lot more peaceful if you just put all that to the side and don't care. Tip number 3 is a mistake I see a lot of people making, and this one's really important to follow right after a game launches. People will go ahead and do all of the bad weapons, get those ones out of the way. That way they only have the easy weapons left. However, when a game first launches, there's a lot of balancing changes. If you do all the bad weapons, the underperforming weapons, by the time you finish those and start working on the good weapons, it might have completely flopped. They might have buffed all the bad weapons, so those weapons you just struggled with to get done, they might now be really good, and the weapons that were OP that you skipped out on might have been nerfed and they're no longer good anymore. So right now, the current meta in Modern Warfare 2, I would get the SPR done, the Lockman sub, the Hurricane, the M4, the Lockwood, and I'd probably wait off on weapons like the M16. Obviously, you can't predict the future. You don't know what's going to get buffed and what's going to get nerfed, and depending on when you're watching this video, everything I just listed off might have already changed, but just kind of look at what people are using in the lobby and what the current meta is at the time to decide which weapons to do now and which weapons to save for later. Tip number 4 is to use multiple different classes. You don't want to have only one class made, because depending on the weapon type you're using or the challenge you're going for, different maps are going to play to its strengths. The maps that you get long shots on are going to be different than the maps that are good for behind cover kills, shotgun snipers. All these have their different strengths, so you want to be using the best class for that map. That way you're getting the most out of it. Obviously, you could lobby shop, but once again, that's just more wasted time when you could be using the map that you're getting for the strength with those different classes. We're going to break down this stuff in our ultimate guide, so make sure to sub if you want to go for that. That'd be too much to add in this video, and this does change a little bit once shipment and other 24/7 playlists get added to the game. Tip number 5 is to take full advantage of double weapon XP events. So far in Modern Warfare 2, we haven't received any, but we get double XP events for every COD. So what you want to do, as soon as a double weapon XP event's live, you don't want to keep using a weapon once you've ranked it up. You want to use the weapon. Once you get it to that last camo challenge, you want to move on to the next weapon, because anytime you spend just grinding camo challenges after a weapon's max rank, you're wasting the rest of that event. So as soon as you get one ready to go, move on to the next one and make it your goal during that double weapon XP event to just max out as many weapons as possible. And then once the event ends, you'll have unlimited time to work for the camo challenges that you've now unlocked. Tip number 6, and this one's similar to tip number 5, whenever there is a double weapon XP event, or if you have double XP tokens, you want to focus these on the weapons that don't have attachments. These being the rocket launchers, the knife, and the Riot Shield. In this game, it takes a lot longer to rank these up than a normal weapon, and it's kind of more annoying. You don't want to be using a rocket launcher for an extended period of time, So use your tokens on these. That way you can get those to the level you need to start doing the camo challenges. Tip number 7, be careful what attachments you put on your weapon. Unlike in previous Call of Duties, you can't just slap on random attachments and usually end up with a better result than the base weapon. A lot of the attachments in Modern Warfare 2 have more negative effects than good effects. A lot of them have really bad ADS speed, and if you just put a bunch of attachments on, you're going to end up with a gun that takes forever to ADS. Me personally, when I'm grinding for camos or even just playing normally, I'm only using 2 to 3 attachments out of the 5 available slots. It's not like Vanguard, Cold War, Modern War 2019, where you want to fill up every single slot to make the best weapon. Sometimes the best weapon only uses 2 to 3 attachments. Tip number 8 is another basic one, but I still see a lot of people making this mistake. When it comes to kill streaks for camo grinding, you want to use UAV, counter UAV, and advanced UAV. Any other kill streak is just going to steal your kills and not count for camo progression, and these 3 are going to help you out. UAV and advanced UAV are going to help you find enemies easier, and counter UAV is going to block the enemy minimap. Tip number 9 is a really important one, and this one overwrites one of the rules we talked about earlier. Earlier, I said to make multiple different weapon classes and play to the weapon strengths. This does not apply when you're using a really bad weapon. Whenever you're using a weapon that you get way less kills than what you normally get, you want to use that weapon from start to finish without swapping to any other weapon, because these newer games have skill-based matchmaking and you can use this to your advantage when camo grinding. For me personally, when I started using all 4 rocket launchers, the shield, and the knife, I was performing way worse than what I normally do. So if you just sit and tough it out for 3 to 4 games only using that one weapon, whether it be a rocket launcher, a riot shield, or the knife, your lobbies are going to get dramatically easier, allowing you to finish that entire weapon without much of a hassle. However, once you get in these easier lobbies, if you want to take a break from using, the riot shield or the rocket launcher because you're getting fed up, yes, you're going to be performing really well with a full auto weapon. But when you go back to the riot shield again, you're now going to be back in those harder lobbies, and then you're going to have to play those 3 to 4 games to get back into the easier lobbies to finish it. So once you start using a weapon that's really bad, just tough it out, finish the entire thing, and that's going to be the most effective way to get it done. Tip number 10, and this is a future tip because it's not going to help you right now, but they have already confirmed in Modern Warfare 2, once new DLC weapons get added, you can use the DLC weapon to replace one of the base weapons. So let's say in Season 1, they add a brand new AR into the game. You can now do that DLC AR and skip out on one of the base ARs that were in the game. So let's say you just don't like the M16. When Season 1 comes out, do the new AR they add and skip the M16, and you're still going to unlock the Platinum camo for the AR category and will be able to get the Orion camo even though you don't have gold on the M16. This is a feature that's been in the last few COD games, and they've confirmed that for a fact it will be working like that in Modern Warfare 2. And with that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. I know that a lot of these were more basic tips. We're gonna do more deep dive tips for each individual class once we get to the ultimate guide. So make sure to sub if you want to see that. If any of these tips helps you out, make sure to leave a like or a comment. If you have any additional tips that could help people while grinding for camos right now, make sure to leave them in the comments. That way they can find them and they can get the additional help to get these camos. Yeah, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.